We know that being a geek isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. Join us as we invite special guests to share their love for the characters and worlds that shaped them. Are you ready? It's time to let your geek side show.
In this episode of Look Who Showed Up, we sit down with actor Rahul Kohli, known for his work on the CW's iZombie, Roosterteeth's Funhaus series, and on DC Universe's upcoming Harley Quinn animated series as Scarecrow. Join us as we talk collecting, comic book television, and more.
Today we have a very, very special guest. You all know him as Ravi from iZombie, but let's welcome to the Sideshow studio, Rahul Kohli. Hi.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. This is kind of amazing. So the last time I saw you, you were here for a tour.
I was, yeah.
Yes, and I enjoyed tagging along on the tour with you a little bit because you had such fun reactions. So tell us a little bit about some of your favorite parts of Sideshow HQ.
Well, obviously, you guys have got like the big Darth Vader in the hall. Like, there's so much awesome everywhere. So it's a little bit of an attack. Like every little corner, there's something cool. It's
we did attack him with coolness.
Yeah, mm-hmm. But I think the bit that really got me was because I make model kits as a hobby, and going down to like the workshop and seeing the airbrushing going on and the things I can't talk about that I saw was really cool. And the smell of the paint and seeing professionals who I could never get to that level, but that was a really kind of cool thing to see. Yeah.
So you just mentioned your model kit, so it's a perfect segue into like what kind of model kits you like to build.
I kind of exclusively only really do Star Wars vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So I would get the kits from Japan, and I try to recreate the studio models. Oh, so wow. I try and imitate the weathering for Red 5 or whatever, and I just repeat that over and over and over again because it's a learning experience. So the first version of my Red 5 wasn't good. You just keep building on that. But I'm starting again because since moving to Los Angeles, I don't have my work stuff. I don't have an airbrush here or anything. So I've just invested in that. So because iZombie's done.
Yeah.
So rather than get a new job, I thought I would. Yeah, I look like someone who thinks they're not going to get another job. The amount of money I've spent on things to keep me busy when I'm not on set. So so I start probably next week.
Wow.
My first kit.
That's really. What is your first kit?
I think I'm going with an 8080 Walker, and I didn't say AT-AT.
Yeah, you didn't.
You know why?
Why?
Because you don't say. Well, you still say 80ST, right?
Yeah, you do.
So why not keep uniform? If it's an 80ST, it should be an 8080.
See, this is why I like Rahul like so much, because that's like exactly my mentality is like, because I don't say AT-ST.
You go AT-ST. Yeah.
AT-ST. Like I don't say that.
Exactly.
So no, that's exactly why I always say 8080.
There you go.
Yep.
Boom.
Awesome. So besides doing, my other question about modeling kits. So when you do Red 5 and you do all the different versions of Red 5, if you got to the Millennium Falcon, would you do different versions from like the different movies? Because it does have different weathering in different films.
It does, yeah. I mean, like a good example is the TIE Fighter will change between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, because I think the Imperial ships get bluer.
Yeah.
In Empire. But because Empire is my favorite Star Wars movie, I tend to only mimic Empire.
Oh, okay. So you have some uniformity there.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
So my TIE Interceptors and my TIE Fighters and everything will have a more of a bluish hue.
Okay, cool. I got that. Awesome. So you're also a collector.
Yes.
Yes. What do you collect?
A lot of, it's all a little random. My first thing I got really into was I'd collect the 3.5-inch Star Wars action figures. And it was when I think the special editions came out and they had that line. And so I was, how old was I? Like 10 or 11. And it was pocket money. And I think I got up to, and I got like £2 a week, and so it's like $2 a week. Yeah. And it'd take me about a month to get 2 figures, if that. I got up to like 60, 70 figures.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just from like saving it and then maybe doing some gardening and washing the car so I can get some Jawas.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing I really collected. And then recently I've just started collecting, like it started with actually some sideshow stuff. So I was at DC just visiting when we did iZombie, and I don't know if I'm allowed to, I guess I can tell that happens. They're like, hey, here's a special room, what would you like to take? And my castmates were like, oh, that's a cool Batman t-shirt, oh, that's a really cool Superman dog costume. And I saw like the sideshow Christian Bale Dark Knight on the top, and I was like, can I take that? And they're like, yeah, if you can carry it. And so that's my first sideshow.
Oh my
was
God.
the Dark Knight. And everyone else had like
a t-shirt.
Yeah, or like a thermal like mug. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, do you know how much this figure costs? Like, you guys are idiots. And then I ended up, so I started with that, and it just became my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But I never had an apartment because we were filming, so I was always like, so it was with me all the time. So when I was in Vancouver in hotels, I'd have the Dark Knight.
So you just took the Dark Knight with you wherever you went?
Yeah, because I didn't have anywhere to put it. And I finally put it on, I now have a place to put that. And then I went back about a year ago, and they did the same thing again. They were like, so good to see you, da, da, da. That, you know, and then, hey, do you want to take something from the room? And I was like, sure, I'll have a look. And then the Joker was on the top shelf again. And the same thing was going on where everyone was taking like bottle openers and like a Joker deck of cards or like a poker chip set. And I was like, I'll take the Heath Ledger Joker. So that became number 2. So that's how that started, and now I've got like now it's expanded. Now I'm spending my own money.
That's amazing, though. That's such a good story. I like that everyone's like t-shirts, bottle openers. And
my eyes
I want
go
the
straight.
Sideshow.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So it's so awesome that you're like actually a geek, and that you were in a show based on a comic book.
Yeah.
Did you read the comic books?
I did. Sort of. So
the show's so different than the comics, though.
Hugely. So what happened was when I auditioned for the pilot, it was pitched to me. It had sounded familiar, and it was so straight away when you say it's comic book adaptation of this. The first thing I was going, because you're not allowed to see the script, right? Because it's a big property. It's
like a secret.
Yeah. So you only get like your isolated sides, and then that's it. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, then I should read the comic book. And very quickly I was like, where's Ravi? What's this?
Yeah.
This ain't Seattle. And then I did away with it because I was like, this isn't helpful to I had a weekend just to work on this. But once I booked it, I was like, well, now I need to because people are going to ask me about the comic.
Right.
And it just rude to go, no, I ain't read it. That just felt rude.
But that's awesome to have like that type of respect for the source material, even though they're completely different.
Absolutely. And I think like in early press as well, like I don't think a lot of people knew it was a comic book. Some people don't know that we're like a Vertigo property and that we have a connection to DC or anything like that. Because I think when you think of the CW and you think of like you see Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, part of the Arrowverse, they don't realise that we are kind of like a little sister somewhere off to the. You know what I mean?
Totally. I think people think of Vertigo like that in general. Like people don't realise that it's part of DC a lot of times.
Absolutely, yeah. So like when we were doing press, it was the toughest press I've ever had to do was selling iZombie before it had aired because no one cared. They still sort of don't, but it was really bad.
I was gonna say, I think there are at least 2 people in this room
which is
who
awesome. That's the
care.
most. Yeah, that's the most like iZombie fans I've ever been around. But like, but it's like it's a cult thing. It's
it really is.
It was,
especially because you have Rob Thomas, who's like you're the showrunner, and it's like Veronica Mars. That's
well exactly, and that's why a lot of our press was like when we first did our first round. So the show hadn't aired, but we were picked up. We still had to do Comic Con, so we did Comic Con 2014. The show hadn't aired, and we didn't even show the pilot. But we still had to do the panel, you still had to do this, and no one really cared because the comic book wasn't that well known. We didn't have the might of DC because no one knew that we were part of that. So really it was more about Rob Thomas and Veronica Mars. And then our title is iZombie, so we got all the app
like
jokes.
Apple. Yeah,
exactly. So
which is one of the reasons I actually picked up the comic, because I was like, oh, this is weird. Is this like about a zombie tech virus?
There you go, right?
Yeah, and that's what I thought it was going to be about. It wasn't, and then Gwen, as she is in the comic, is like is a really compelling character, but Liv is so much better. I like the show a lot better than the comic in general. But yeah, anyway, cool. But that's really cool. So what was it kind of like to step into that world, like that fantasy world of iZombie?
Well, for me, the doors it opened was like for my first job. So I was working in London for 8 years auditioning, like just rejection after rejection, like to the point where it's like, dude, you need to quit. Like, you can't act. At this point, you have gone up for this much volume of work and been rejected for all of it. You need to stop. Then iZombie came along out of nowhere. And being like a big fan of geek culture, video games and stuff like that, and then your first ever job lands you a Comic-Con, and you're doing that stuff. And then, you know, you get to meet awesome people. Like, I met Chris Robertson and Mike Allred, and I befriended Jim Lee just because of that community that you're from. And so that, aside from the benefits of like finally having a job and it legitimizing what I spent my entire life doing, like, just in terms of, like I said, the doors opening, being able to go to DC, and they let me, I think it was the 75th Batman anniversary, around about the time our show kind of went out. So they let me touch the Batmobiles and the Tumbler, and it was like, so I benefited the most, I think, from our cast, because so did Robert Buckley, because we are fans. And then, so everyone's willing to open their doors to you and show you what projects they're working on. Yeah, so it's been incredible.
Who are some of your personal favorite comic book characters?
It starts with Batman. That was my first introduction into comic books, really. It was the Tim Burton movie. My dad had recorded it on VHS for me, and I saw it when I was, I want to say, like 5. And then that's what led me to read my first comic book. So it was an easy transition into like the stories. I usually like really angry dudes. So it's like Wolverine, Hulk, Batman. It's the duality and the beast with it, all that kind of thing. I've always been, because I guess I'm being British, and Andy, you know this, we're very repressed. If someone offends us, like in America, you guys will call them out straight away. Like, you'd be like, hey, you need to stop doing that. But in Britain, we don't. We politely are like, okay. And then we leave it, but then we'll go to the pub one night and then smash someone's face in, because we've just built it all up and it's repressed, right? So that's why, like, the Hulk and stuff, I do feel a bit banner, because I get offended all day long, and I'm like, cool, and then I just snap, because I don't communicate. But I'm good now.
Cool. Okay.
No, I'm great. I've been in LA long enough to let go of that. But yeah, so I love those characters that kind of have that, like, I don't know, that raw kind of beast. Yeah.
Cool. You're not terrified of you at all anymore. It's great. And you were in a zombie show where you like actually inject yourself with a zombie virus.
I did, yeah, absolutely.
That was cool. So you aren't just about comics and Star Wars as well. You're a big gamer too.
Massive,
so can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I think gaming is it's the first thing I ever fell in love with. That's before Batman, Star Wars, anything.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, my dad, again, it all comes from my pups, but he had me playing games at an early age, and then it just developed into an obsession. Then I wanted to go into that as a career. So I wanted to go into video game development. I got as far, because I'm pretty thick, I'm not particularly bright. I got as far, this is someone who wants to be like the next Hideo Kojima, right? I got as far as a sales assistant in GameStop. That was my ceiling into the games industry. And not to knock anyone who's in sales, but that's as far as I could go. And it was my best, still one of my favorite jobs ever. But yeah, I'm a huge gamer, and now I can't, because I'm NDAs. I have now voiced a few video games which haven't come out yet or been announced, but that's very exciting. So again, and that's an iZombie thing.
Yeah, and so that's like kind of the next step for you. There is something that is credited on IMDb, because I looked, because I want to ask about it.
Not a video game.
Okay, it's not a video game. Oh, I can talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're also doing another nerd property coming out. Yeah. And I was like, it's credited on IMDb, so it's public knowledge.
All right. I know.
So can you talk a little bit about being Scarecrow on the new Harley Quinn show?
Sure.
That is so cool.
Thank you. No, that was awesome. So the creators, Patrick, Justin Halpin, and Dean Laurie, they worked on iZombie, and they're geniuses. They're just so funny, and that they, at some point, they left us, and we didn't know why. Like, things move on, and it's because they got Harley Quinn. So they're writing this cartoon where it's very self-aware. It's it breaks the fourth wall all the time. Like Harley, it's almost they'll probably get this comparison to Death, but it's almost Deadpool-esque in the sense of like how you know, they break the fourth wall. And originally, like from the get-go, I think Dean had said he was like, "We want to get you in for something," and I went up for Riddler. That's how it started.
Okay.
Or something like that, and it didn't happen. I was like, "Well, cool, empty promises, thanks, mate." And then they came back to me about a month later, and they were like, "We found what we want you for. It's Scarecrow." And so I read the scripts, and I told them they've got. I mean this as a fan. They got a hit on their hands. Like this is like Rick and Morty level funny, and I've been watching.
Oh my
some.
God.
Yeah, it's really good. Like it has no right to be as good as it is. It's like and DC. I mean, I'm not sure how much I can tell, but but they kind of let them do what they want. It's like here's a toy box of all our here, have it and do what you want and be as adult as you want with the humor, and they're unleashed, and it's incredible. Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's like a result of it being exclusive to the streaming service.
I think it might be because obviously there's not as much network input, and you don't have to adhere to certain rules.
Totally.
So it's blue. I swear a lot. The characters swear a lot. It's it's incredible. I tell them all the time. Every time I'm there with them, I'm just like, this is one of the first times I'm reading scripts going, oh my god, I'm so lucky I'm on this.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm not like a regular or anything. It's just I haven't done like all episodes.
Yeah.
I've only done a few, so I've only read a few.
Yeah, I'm sorry I put you on the spot with that, but
right.
it's
that's the first time I've
like,
spoken about that. Actually.
That's awesome. But I like made sure to like look at the IMDb to be like, okay, well it's on here, so it's public knowledge. So anyway, wow. So I have one more question.
Okay.
Since you're a collector, what is something that you wish you got when it was available but you missed it?
Ooh, that's a great question. I wish I had heard that before because now my brain's racking. There are a few things. Actually, some of them are video game based, like the collector's editions of stuff I missed out on sometimes or whatever. Like there was, what was it? Damn. So Metal Gear Solid, you could get his arm.
Oh.
You can get Big Boss's arm. That came with it, and I never got that in time. There was a Hot Toys tumbler.
Yeah.
I saw that one. It was just like this. That was another one. The Back to the DeLorean as well was another one.
Yeah.
There's a few. Oh, and so I have 2 or 3 of them, but I never got the whole collection because it was, this was when I was like just working in an office and I couldn't afford to spend that much. But there were the lightsaber Master Replica FX ones.
Yeah.
Those I had 2 of them, and they had the Darth Maul, and they had a few others, and I never got round to having the whole set. So now that's it. They're done. You can't get them again. But yeah.
I was like, I have 2 of those.
Which ones do you have?
I have Luke's, both of Luke's, the blue one and the green one.
Yeah, I've got the blue Luke and Vader.
Yeah.
So I just have blue and red.
Yeah, that makes sense. What?
I got Vader and Darth Maul.
Okay.
You got the double-sided one.
Yeah. Oh,
and it
that's
breaks
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool.
That's the one.
Well, we have a ton of questions coming in from the audience. Do we want to take a break or do we want to just roll right in? Roll right in? How are you feeling? Do you want to take a break? All right, let's roll right in. Like, seriously, a ton of questions. Okay. So, Rahul is the hero that this fandom needs, but not the one that it deserves.
I'll take that.
Please ask Rahul who his favorite Batman is between Bruce, Adam, and James. And James? Who's James?
Bruce, Adam and James.
Bruce, like Adam West. Wait, what?
Just who's your favorite Batman?
Yeah, who's your favorite Batman?
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy. I was like,
but if you want to like, that's always
Adam West.
I feel like that's
James and anyway, and I just assumed Bruce was Bruce Wayne, and I was like, wait a second.
It says favorite Batman. Maybe.
Oh.
It's something else.
Oh, I know what that is.
Oh. What is that?
It's Funhaus. It's James.
Oh,
it's
about
James.
Bruce, Adam, and James. Oh, well, my favorite's James.
Elise.
Yeah, well, Elise.
Yeah,
Elise is the best.
Yeah, Elise.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, okay, I got it. Oh, okay. I just added Batman because there's so much Batman. So who's your favorite Batman?
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy. There we go.
But live action. It splits.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Batman and a favorite Bruce Wayne?
I do. Yeah.
He's a true geek. True geek right here.
For some reason, I really like. like Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne. I think that's the most rounded, and I like Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah. You're correct.
I am correct. That is the right answer.
These are the right, and Kevin Conroy, and then these are the. I feel like we must be around the same age because this is like the correct answer for people our age.
For people, for my generation.
All right. So in iZombie, they used fake brains, I assume, but did they use real or fake hot sauce? Because you guys always put hot sauce on.
It is real hot sauce. It is, yeah. It's I think it's extremely mild.
Oh.
Rose I think she does like her chili food, but why do that to yourself?
Yeah.
She doesn't need to go that method. So it's just a really, really mild hot sauce.
Okay.
That we use. Yeah.
What were the brains?
It's a Japanese gelatin called agar or something like that. It's awful. It really is. I don't care if I'm offending props department. It's absolutely disgusting.
Oh my God.
Because now I eat brains.
Yeah.
And for some reason they had decided with Ravi that he eats them raw. I never dress them up. So it's always, I don't know what his deal is, but he'll just eat them raw, whereas Liv
he's
will...
a scientist.
Oh, yeah, and I think they also made out that he's not a foodie and she is, and that's her thing, so he doesn't care as much.
Plus maybe she embraced it more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was
his
like
is more just function.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Because your whole zombie thing's experimental.
Yes.
So, yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
But then I heard that I'm getting it, my way's easy. That brain with the cherry blood type, whatever it is easier when it's raw and not mixed in with other food. The minute you put that in a soup or in someone's burger or on top of a pizza, it's disgusting. But it's still bad as it is, so Rose gets it worse because she has that mixed in with like real food. Yeah.
Cool. I'm like, great. Well, I mean, brains don't sound appetizing to me anyway, but it's...
But you'd think they'd figure out a way to make it taste nice. It should be it should taste like candy. It does not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's over now anyway. We don't have to go through it.
Yeah. So, question, what is the Star Wars model you have closest to the production model?
Oh. Okay, so I'd say the one that's the closest might be... It might be the Red 5 I did.
Okay.
The last Red 5 I did, it was a 72, 172. Yeah, and it was a fine mold from Japan, and I think I nailed that.
Okay.
That's the closest. I didn't get very experimental. I'm not very creative like that. Like I've seen other people just do their own like crazy versions.
Right.
I'm kind of like strict to that. I want it to be screen accurate.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a fan of the movie, you want it to match the movie that you love.
Absolutely,
That makes total sense. What is the piece that you saw today at Sideshow that you would love to take home? I'm looking at Andy right now. Since it's like, Andy's like...
Should I put Andy on the spot?
Yeah.
So firstly...
Is a piece, Susan.
I did.
It is,
I
it's
remember
Andy,
it's
it's Andy,
Andy.
it's absolutely
Andy
Andy.
is the piece he wants to take home.
I actually got the tour. You guys were sweet enough to give me the Mythos Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's so good. Like, the great thing about those is it captures something you haven't seen but thought about. Like it's those years where he was a hermit. It's that moment where you haven't seen it on screen, but it's almost like it's the Obi-Wan movie I haven't seen yet,
right?
That I want there in a figure. But today, Jabba. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, it's yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna have to explain this one to me because I don't know what this is a reference to. But when is Rahul going to finish My Summer Boyfriend?
Oh, so that's again, that's James. It's
so a lot of people watch you on
Funhaus,
on Funhaus, yeah.
and Roosterteeth.
All right,
yeah,
all right.
It's a gaming channel, and it's a video where we play a boyfriend simulator. You're a young hot girl.
I'm already in. What's this? I'm
It's
gonna go watch all of this
it's
now.
It's terrible. But it's you're on an island on a resort, and you're trying to get a boyfriend for the summer, and us four guys are trying to do it, and we haven't done it. It's taken 2 years. We've been doing videos every time I rap iZombie, I'll go back and do a video, and we're nowhere close to getting a boyfriend for the summer.
Oh my
It's
God.
heartbreaking, yeah.
Oh my god! I want to watch all this now.
It's awesome.
I'm
You
totally
pick the
gonna go
dialogue.
find it.
We dress her. We do her makeup. We're doing our best. Yeah.
This is amazing. Has Rahul seen the Incredible Hulk TV series, and does he like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to give you a spoiler for iZombie. Oh.
No, you can't.
I know. I can't. I can. I can do what I want now. Like I don't work for them. No, I have actually. So that was again my dad, massive Bill Bixby Incredible Hulk fan. I think he even met Lou Ferrigno, and he has a little photo with him. But that show was again one of the earliest shows I watched, and so I pitched to Rob Thomas and Diane that can he be a zombie? I wanted him to be a zombie because he's like Bruce Banner. He experimented on himself.
Yeah.
And it sort of kind of happened. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. I don't think they did it because I asked them. They just did it because they wanted to. It has nothing to do with me having any kind of say. And then I don't know if it made it. I've asked for I asked for an homage and we shot it. So this is an homage to Bill Bixby and my dad for getting me into
That's
geek culture,
amazing.
and we shot it. But it could be deleted, it could be removed. But I will.
But look for it, guys.
Look for it. There is an homage to Bill Bixby.
I love that.
I try to snuck in.
What is your favorite zombie movie?
Great, but Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have to say that as well. They'll take my passport away. You lose your status, right? Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like we should also ask you your Harry Potter house, right?
Slytherin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been in that sorting hat. Like, it's not even like me trying to act like I'm cool.
Yeah.
I did that online thorough,
Yeah.
quick.
Pottermore, yeah.
Pottermore,
Yeah.
Slytherin. And then I've been to the Harry Potter worlds and I've done the sorting hat 3 times. It's done Slytherin, and I know it's random.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids.
Yeah. That's okay.
The Tooth Fairy is real, but the sorting hat at the theme park is
Was
random.
random.
Yeah.
So, what questions would we ask you to determine if you are a Skrull or not?
If I am a
Skrull.
Skrull. Oh, from
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Parchment.
Yeah.
I have no Captain Marvel. You'd have to tell what.
So a Skrull's a shape-shifting alien, and
Right.
they can take on any form of anybody that they see, but they can only take on recent memories. So the way to determine if someone's a Skrull is you would have to ask them something like weird
deep
about
cut.
themselves or a deep cut.
Yeah.
So what would your iZombie cast co-stars have to ask you in order to determine if you're a Skrull?
They'd know. How old was I when I had my first kiss?
Oh.
Because it was super late. And they all know it's really late. Like I could legally drink and everything.
Legally drink in the United States or in the UK, because those are two different.
UK.
Okay.
I was 18. I was 19.
Okay,
Yeah, I was
so
18
not
and 19.
so that's not
Yeah.
that's not late.
That's sort of late.
Anyway,
Kidding, in England, you got 12 kids.
Yeah, in England. Yeah, my friends were like settled down and moved in by like 13. Like they were like I was the only. Yeah, it's different.
all right.
Yeah.
Rahul, who is your biggest geek crush?
Ooh, biggest geek.
That's
crush.
a good question.
That is a good question. Well, it's okay. So it's kind of twofold because Natalie Portman, because she's Padme.
Padme. Yeah.
And so that was like I wrote love letters and that was I got so deep into that. If I ever met her, I think I'd lose it just because of how much I loved her as a kid. She was my first love.
Aw.
Yeah, and I've never met her.
No,
But,
I relate to that. I was in love with Han Solo, like in love with
Yeah.
Han Solo, and I met Harrison Ford, and I was like,
Yeah, and they have no idea. They don't know what
Yeah.
how many nights you stayed awake.
yeah,
like,
you're just like, oh my god.
yeah. So
You're
there's
Han
that.
Solo. What?
But geek crush. Oh, yeah. I mean, is Natalie Portman a cop out?
No. No.
That's a geek crush.
Legit.
That's legit, because also Natalie Portman's also in V for Vendetta. Like,
There's also a
that's-
couple of cosplayers, but I can't do that because they follow me on stuff, and I bump into them all the time. I can't just be like Jessica Nick, and then I know her, so I can't just announce that, which I just.
Which you just
Did?
did, because we all know her also. So
And
cool.
This is a live
And this is
I
a
know,
live show.
and I'm good friends with her boyfriend. No, I don't have a. No, Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman, all the way. Yeah.
So Who would you want to play if you could be a live action superhero?
I think about this every day.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
I have Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously.
Problem is, I don't want to lose the beard. And I've said this before, this don't work in a cow. Because in Gotham, if there's only one Indian man who's a billionaire with a beard, and then you see a brown cow, like lips with a beard, you'll know it's me. You'll go, oh, it's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Only billionaire brown guy with a beard in Gotham. It's you. We know it's you. So I know that doesn't work for me.
Take off the cow, Bruce.
Exactly. We know
Jigs
it's
up.
exactly.
We gotcha.
I'd have to do like the Terry McGinnis Batman
man.
in the future.
Superman gets away with it by just putting glasses
That's
on.
true.
I mean,
That is true.
Am I
Wait,
even?
who's
Yeah.
this?
Whoa! What?
But seriously, once Mark Ruffalo's done,
Ooh.
I'd love to play Bruce Banner.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that would be my the one I think I could bring something to. I would enjoy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. This is for both Susan and Rahul. If you could be gifted with the art skills of a painter or sculptor, which project would you want to take on for Sideshow?
Wow.
Well, one. I mean, okay, it's if I'm gifted. I was like,
Oh, I've got my answer already. I know.
Okay,
I'm
well,
good.
no,
This
go,
is so
go.
easy for me.
Oh, what?
I'd make a Ravi sideshow statue.
Yes.
Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? And for like the two people, it'd be me and my mum.
Aww.
Because she's the only one who'd have it.
Oh, that's amazing. I'd probably do what, like Doctor Strange, most likely. I'm gonna give the most boring answer ever, most likely. Because I answer that for everything. Every time they're like, who's your comic book crush? Doctor Strange. Like,
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was something that was awesome with Sideshow from the tour. The kit bashing that goes on.
Yeah.
And
We don't admit
That we don't talk about.
we don't talk about it.
No one does that at their desk ever.
Oh, okay. Well, I want a kit bash.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for you guys to do, because I don't have a thing. So I'm waiting for you guys to do like a Jack Ryan, John Krasinski one. Mm-hmm. I am allowed to. I'm going to brown face it. I'm allowed to do that. And then build a Ravi myself.
You should.
Because that's as close as I can
Well,
get.
if you're gonna build a Ravi, I should use my talent in this hypothetical question to make a live, because I would kill for no zombie reference intended, but like a live would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get it.
you wouldn't get
I
it.
see her face all the time. Every
Yeah,
Blu-ray
you're like,
poster.
Rose, just go away. I'm just done
Cool,
with you.
we get it.
Yeah, cool.
We get it.
We get it. You're the star of the show. It's
It's
pretty
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're on the back of the Blu-ray that's this big.
And then she's
Not that I
like,
noticed.
so are there any, this is the last question we have. Is there any chance that you are going to be at conventions in the States in the near future?
I do conventions, yeah. Every now and again. I just did one in New Orleans. Nolans. Is that's the way to say
Nolans.
it? Nothing planned yet. Oh, I might be at Comic Con, but I'm not allowed to talk about why.
I mean, it's for Scarecrow.
No.
No. Come on, I just gave you an out. I just gave you the
Actually,
out.
something bigger. Yeah, but I'm not allowed. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're definitely not live on the internet for people to take you.
But I might be there. I might just be there as a fan.
Yeah, you might just be hanging out with us.
Sure,
at our
absolutely.
booth.
I'll be in San Diego.
Totally.
I am going to come to the booth.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Andy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Andy says yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Rahul, thank you so much for being
Thank
on
you
the
for
show.
having me.
This is
Appreciate
so much fun.
Do you enjoy Look Who Showed Up? We are proud to bring you pop culture content completely ad-free, but that doesn't mean we don't need your support to help keep us going. Please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform and help spread the word about our podcast. We welcome fan feedback. Email us at podcasts@sideshow.com with your thoughts and suggestions for how we can make our shows even better. Plus, tune in for our other pop culture podcasts. See your favorite common film characters evolve across 2 generations in the bi-weekly Then and Now podcast. Find out if your fan favorites make the cut in the Geek Culture Countdown, a bi-weekly podcast featuring pop culture top 10 lists. Then get all the latest pop culture news with our daily briefing, a 2-minute breakdown of the biggest geek headlines perfect for your Alexa or Google News briefings. We wouldn't exist without your continued support. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to let your geek side show.